This is the news for December the 14th, 2021. I'm a day late on this news segment, but that's okay. I think you guys will appreciate it nonetheless. Jumping right into things here. Let's start out with Lulu. You can see it looks like Chelsea Bennett. She is the face of Lulu University on YouTube. She looks like she's getting ready to sneeze, but they recently put out a video about self-publishing your children's books. They give a ton of tips. This is great information, especially if you're just breaking into this business. In fact, they have an entire playlist of 36 different videos on self-publishing for beginners. Everything from what is self-publishing to more advanced things like self-publishing for visual artists. Go subscribe to Lulu. They're not paying me to say this. Chelsea is a pal of mine, but honestly, I'm just doing this because I enjoy her enthusiasm, her positivity, and the delivery. They just have such amazing videos. I really love how they edit them. Take a look at Lulu, and it's not always just about like, hey, you know, let's go and publish on Lulu. Like, no, actually, she's giving really great information. Now, I'm sure they're hoping that you would end up becoming an author that uses their platform, but they're not forcing you to do that. Get some of this information. It's really good. Go check out Lulu. Again, their most recent video on November the 4th was self-publishing your children's book. All right, moving further along. StoryOrigin. I'd had my news segment things here in front of me. Some days I'm prepared, other days I'm not. StoryOrigin actually has a couple things that just rolled out, and I want to touch on each one of those things here right now. If you're not a user of StoryOrigin, they handle so much, everything from advanced reader copies to direct downloads to group promos and so much more. Dalelinks.com/StoryOrigin to take a look at them. Evan just sent out an email this past week. It says the universal book links no longer strictly require an Amazon link. They just need to have at least one retailer link added. Now, I've always been just a huge fan of Books2Read. It's something I've continued to use. And even though I pay for StoryOrigin and do all that, I haven't used their universal book links. I'm sorry, Evan. But in the event that you have StoryOrigin, that's just another thing that can really help you integrate everything. Swaps, it says, below the accepted ignore options on swap requests, you will not find a link to propose alternative swap. Beta copies, when uploading a new version of a chapter for a beta copy, you can now choose to pull a specific chapter from a docx file instead of just copying and pasting the contents. Big shout out to Evan, though. I appreciate you shouting me out inside your email newsletter. And furthermore, let's see here. There was also a case study that Evan shared in an email yesterday where he talked about Michael Angel, an author. And this is what Michael had to say. So much awesome. Just wanted to share the latest milestone and pass on a major thanks to Evan Gal for creating his amazing StoryOrigin platform. I started with a grand total of zero subscribers. Then I posted in April 2020 when I hit 2,000 subscribers. Then again in September 2020 when I reached 3,000 subscribers. Then again in April 2021 when I reached 4,000 subscribers. And finally, as of December 2021, hit the goal of 5,000 subscribers. Nice proof of what StoryOrigin can do for you if you're consistent. If you're stuck on building out your email list and you're not really sure where to go, StoryOrigin's a fantastic app to do that because you're able to collaborate with other authors like yourself and also get it to where you have some place you can call home that safely houses your books, whether they're beta copies, direct downloads, or even advanced reader copies. So just something to kind of think about, folks. I think I mentioned this last week, but I think it bears worth in repeating, especially on the heels of getting ready to talk about IngramSpark and some of the growing concerns. And this area I'm not concerned about. This is kind of nice. They've got a new free book building tool. And honestly, you can get your book cover design, your book cover layout design. You can help meet file requirements. You print your ebooks and you can do your print books and your ebooks. So this is kind of cool. And they have a full design course for this. So I just wanted the people to know that sometimes it seems like I might be casting a little bit of shade on IngramSpark. Are there some areas of improvement? Sure. But I think this is a great step in the right direction if they're putting together some free tools to make it easier for us to publish on their platform. I try to curate some great pieces. And part of curating those great pieces, I do follow a number of different platforms, including one that I use myself called Flocksy. Flocksy's fantastic. They have a full article on 6 writing tips to help you write faster and professionally. I was all ear. I was like, hey, what are your tips? 1 includes freestyle. 2, time yourself. Setting a timer. I say this all the time. No pun intended. Get yourself a timer when you're sitting down to write. When there's a sense of urgency, you will start to focus a lot better. And this is one of the things that they were really kind of leaning heavily on. Nix the spell checker. Yes, get rid of that spell checker. I can't tell you how many times it slows me down. Fixing typos and grammatical errors are for when you edit. When you're typing and you're doing your first draft, just get it done with and clean up that stuff afterwards. Do your research. One of the ways to make writing go faster is have all your facts gathered before you start writing. Agreed. I'm telling you, I'm super guilty of this. I will do a little bit of research and then I get into it and I'm like, oh man, I probably should have done way more research. And then I end up slowing down the writing process because I have to fact check a bunch of stuff. Here's one that I can't say enough times. Create an outline. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. Look, I'm not going to demonize any one of you that's doing the pantsing philosophy. That's fantastic. If you're able to do it, you go on with your bad self. But if you are stuck and you're like, well, I'm a pantser and I've got a writer's block. Well, outline it. Try an outline. It might change your life. And then last but not least, they suggest getting a writing partner. Folks, I will leave a link to this article in the description down below. Go over, check it out. Flocksy's great company. I currently work with them for a number of things, including graphic design, video editing, and copywriting. Going on over here, we've actually got 2 pieces of information that I thought I would share with you, and it comes through Smashwords. Smashwords is having the 5th annual Smashwords end of year sale. It's between December 17th to January the 1st. You can do a bulk discount or you can do any number of discounts. It's really kind of cool. You scroll on down here, you'll see that I enrolled some of my books in these discounts, and they also provide codes that you can give to your readers. I'm going to say this. This is bad. And I'm big shout out to Mark Coker. Sorry about this, buddy, that I don't do this, but every time this promotion thing rolls out, I almost never tell any of my readers. I'm sorry, readers, if I don't tell you about it. I just go and do it, and I get a fair amount of organic sales. This speaks volumes to Smashwords' growing reach, that they're starting to get regular readers that are coming in and buying from their store. And they've actually got an exemplary payout at 85% royalty. Yeah. What you got over there, KDP? Oh, 70%? Oh, and you charge me delivery fees? Smashwords does 85%. I don't know about you folks, but if somebody gets the ebook that they need to, and, you know, we get paid a bit more, sign me up. So definitely take a look at that. And speaking of Smashwords, this is something I have to say face to face here. I didn't realize they had this available, and I would recommend more online distribution platforms have this. 2-factor authentication. It's getting now to this day and age that everybody's getting hacked everywhere. And if you have the opportunity to enable 2-factor authentication, do it. Do it. It protects your assets. And I can't say this enough. And so when I saw that 2-factor authentication is available through Smashwords, done. Sign me up, because I want to make it harder for scammers out there and hackers to break into my account and either get any of my personal information or assume control of all of my publications. Not a good look. So 2-factor authentication, big shout out to Mark Coker again. Dude, your platform continues to get better. I really do like Smashwords. I've been around with them for a long time now. Bad news rolling out in the world of writing. Anne Rice this past week did die due to complications of a stroke. If you're not familiar with her work, she was famous for writing Interview with the Vampire, and but very, very much well loved by readers out there and authors. So my condolences and heartfelt wishes to the Anne Rice family. I know strokes are just never an easy thing to handle with as a family and such. So Moving a little further on here, and this actually comes from my good buddy Andy over at Easy Graphics. Folks, go over, check out Easy Graphics. Make sure that you subscribe to him. He was covering about the custom URL from Books2Read, which they do auto geo targeting for readers. So I said a bunch of nerdy terms, and maybe you're like, we say what? The geo of the targeting of the what? All that to say this: rather than sharing one specific link to say your Amazon.com for the product page for your book, rather than sharing that and creating friction for people outside of that region you're sharing, universal book links make things super, super simple. Now, where I discuss StoryOrigin, well, now Draft2Digital rolled out a new feature in which you can actually manually add things in, like your print books, whether it's a hardback or a paperback, you can put it on in there, and audiobooks. So this means not only can you have the ebooks which they originally had offered through Books2Read, now we have print books and audiobooks. Now, just a heads up, it's not automated like the ebooks, because you can just drop in a link and it just searches out the ebooks on the various platforms and gets them. Print books and audiobooks, you got to go through and manually add them in there, but it's super, super simple. And also just want to give further credit over to Mark Leslie Lefebvre. Mark is a class act. Love this guy. He is one of the OGs in the self-publishing industry. He's been around for 3 decades in this business, so he knows a thing or two. He put an entire piece together on how to get a custom URL for your Books2Read author page. You can create an author page, believe it or not. And it's 100% free. Draft2Digital doesn't even expect you to publish to their platform. They're giving this to you guys 100% free. This is not a sponsored spot. I always say nothing but good things about Draft2Digital, and it's for good reason. It's a place that is run by indie authors for indie authors, and they understand that we need a lot more resources, and actually to be successful, having some of these smaller resources really does help move the needle, and their hope is that you would consider them when you want to publish wide. And Draft2Digital, I'll recommend for sure. I got a little bit of extra revenue through their avenue, and I'm not going to knock it by any means. What did you think about the news pieces this week? Was there one particular one that you found interesting over the other? And also, what did I miss over the past week or two? Definitely would love to